And of course, the Bundesbank is the national central bank who buys the most governing bonds and who is actually dragging the German yield curve tremendously into negative territory. And of course, loss sharing is still not really resolved when it comes to potential losses from such a purchase program for the Bundesbank. Take a listen of what he had to say on negative yields, Greece, and also QE.
Actually, we have had low interest rates even before the QE program started in Germany. The QE may well have an effect, and that doesn't mean that we are not carrying through with this QE. We are in, as I said, close cooperation with the European Central Bank. There are two aspects of it. First of all, it's the negative territory, and we are not only in Germany in negative territory, also outside of the Eurozone, for example, in Denmark, in Sweden, in Switzerland. There is the yield curve is even larger within the negative territory, so other central banks have to deal with these issues too. It's also a question of whether not only the yield curve is going down, but also whether it's flattening, which is also the case. So we're very much at the beginning of QE, and we have to monitor how this will continue. But I don't want to make any guesses or estimates as how this will develop.
When it comes to loss absorbing, it's the Bundesbank who's going to take the losses.
Should there be any?
What makes you confident that there are not going to be any?
I'm not confident there won't be, but I can only talk about losses should they really arise. And we're not only buying in the negative territory part of the yield curve, we're also buying in longer maturities. We are also not only buying bonds, but we are also buying other bonds. So you have to look at the mix and at the total outcome at the end.
Let us also talk a little bit about Greece. Recent developments are suggesting that we are reaching another climax here when it comes to the reform list. So how confident are you that they are going to be bailed out once again?
That's not a decision central banks have to make at all. What is important from our point of view is that Greece stays on a path of reforms, and that Greece continues with structural reforms in order to achieve a sustainable primary surplus.
Mario Draghi thinks that QE is actually helping to implement structural reforms. Do you think that as well?
Every country and every nation has to do their own structural reforms, and there are different structural reforms needed in different countries. So that's a statement which is a very broad statement, and I would not direct this to Greece.